Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Jamie's Custom Cookies. So I thought it might be kind of fun to do something a little bit different this year, and I thought I would go ahead and put together a little tutorial of how I decorated some of the cookies that are in your DIY cookie kits for Thanksgiving. Obviously feel free to decorate these however you want, but if you want to follow along with how I did them, I just thought it might be kind of fun. Little disclaimer, when I do your cookies at home, when I'm decorating and baking them, I do wear a mask and I do wear gloves, but for demonstration purposes, since I'll probably be eating these, I'm going to forego those, and I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'd love to see the cookies when you're done. Okay, so the only other items you're going to need other than what I supplied you in your DIY boxes are 1 or 2 paper plates, 1 or 2 napkins, and a toothpick. So let's get started. The first cookie we're going to start with is the Acorn. The Acorn was only in the large DIY boxes, so feel free to fast forward, pause, whatever you need to do to move on to the cookie that you're getting ready to decorate. So you're going to cut a small hole off the tip of your brown icing piping bag. You're going to start in the middle of your Acorn. You're going to draw a circle, kind of an oval, I guess. And try not to go all the way to the edges because the icing can flow over the edges if you put too much. So you're going to make that oval and you're going to fill it in with some icing. Now you can pick up that toothpick and use that toothpick to move around your icing and get it all nice and pretty and filled in. Okay, and pick up your cookie and give it a little shake. That'll even out that icing and make it really nice and flat. Now take those chocolate sprinkles that I provided you and sprinkle those all over the top of your Acorn. You can make a big mess with this. Pick up your Acorn and dump off the extra. Now you're going to want to let this sit for about 5 minutes before you start the next part of finishing your Acorn. Okay, now that that's had a chance to dry for a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and finish our Acorn. You can start at the top and trace the stem of your Acorn and then fill it in. And same thing with the body of your Acorn. Trace. And fill in your Acorn. Use that toothpick, move around the icing, pick up your cookie and give it a shake. And now you've got your Acorn. Okay, the next cookie is the pumpkin, and we're going to work on this one in stages too. So the first thing we're going to do is take our orange icing and we're going to draw an oval in the middle of our pumpkin. And this is going to help to give your pumpkin some dimension. And make your oval, fill it in with your orange icing. Okay, shake your cookie. And then you can pick whatever you want, but I provided you with 2 different colors that would be really pretty. I think I'm going to go with this one here, the nonpareil sprinkles. I'm going to sprinkle those over your cookie. Shake off the excess and then let that sit for about 5 minutes before we finish your cookie. All right, and now we're going to finish up our pumpkin. You're going to take your orange and you're going to trace around the edges of your pumpkin. Fill it in. Both sides. My cookie's still a little bit too wet. Got a sprinkle that's trying to hang on here, but that's okay. We can move him if we need to. And we'll move that sprinkle back over where he's supposed to be. Even out your icing with your toothpick. Pick it up and give it a shake. And then we're going to add the stem, and I'm going to choose brown for this. And you can do this however you want. You can fill it in like we did the acorn stem, or you can do something like this where you make kind of a wiggle. And then when it dries, it kind of gives you that look of a true pumpkin stem. And there we go, all set. Now we're going to move on to the leaf, and this is kind of a one-step process, and this is kind of fun. You can get really creative with this one. So I'm going to start with my red, and I'm going to outline my cookie. Try not to go too far off the edge. Stay inside your cookie a little bit. There's a little stem. I'm going to fill this in a bit. Not all the way though. I'm just going to stay on the edges. And you're going to see why here in just a minute. And like I said, this does not have to be perfect. You can get really creative with your leaves because, well, not every leaf is the same, right? So we can make these look as unique as you want. Now I'm going to grab my orange and I'm going to squeeze that next to the red. I'm going to put a lot of orange, I think, in my cookie. You could use the brown too if you wanted with this cookie. However you want to do it. And lastly, the yellow. Okay, and this is where you get to have fun. Grab that toothpick again, make sure it's nice and clean. And now you're just going to use it and you're going to swirl these colors together. Swirl, 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 however you want to. You can drag your stem color up through. Just keep swirling until you have it looking the way you want. And I like to kind of, when I'm done, pull the icing, the color up towards the tips. It just makes it look a little more leaf-like, I suppose. Okay, and once you're done, pick up your leaf, give it a shake. Now you can leave it like this and it's beautiful, or you can let it dry and then you can use your brown icing and you can draw some veining on it if you wanted to. So feel free to decorate these however you'd like. Okay, now we're going to move on to the trickiest cookie of them all. So take your time on this one. Make sure you have all of your icing bags ready with their tips snipped off. And so here we go. Ready? We're going to make this turkey. We're going to trace along the turkey's body. And you can make it wiggly. You can make it however you want. And you're not going to trace his beak, and you're not going to trace whatever that bit is that hangs off of his chin. If you know what that is, feel free to let me know. So you've traced your turkey and you're gonna fill in his body and his wing and his belly all the way up to his head. And you're gonna wanna work kind of quickly with this because royal icing dries pretty fast. His body all filled in real fast. Fill in all those little holes. Pick up your toothpick again and smooth out your icing. Okay. Pick up your turkey, give him a little shake. Okay, and now grab your icing bag, your other icing bags, one at a time. You can do this in any order that you want. I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to draw a line on his tail with the red. And I'm going to make that a little bit thicker than what that did. I'm going to just add another line. So I'm starting with red, then I'm going to go to orange. I'm going to make that line kind of thick, and you're going to want to leave some space in between your lines. These do not have to be perfect, and you will see why here in just a minute. And now yellow. Squeeze the yellow. All right, now pick up that toothpick once again, and you're going to want to grab a napkin. And you're going to take your toothpick starting in the brown on the very edge of his tail, and you're going to pull in really gently. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. Just inside the icing, you don't have to go all the way to the bottom of the cookie. Wipe your toothpick in between each swipe. That'll make it nice and neat. Swipe, wipe your toothpick. Swipe, wipe your toothpick. And keep on going until you got your tail how you'd like it. One more time for mine. All All right, and if you have any of these little peaks that stick up, you can take your toothpick, your magic wand, and make those little dots go away. And before that icing has a chance to dry too much, you want to grab your eyeball and place it on your turkey's face. And now you're going to want to let this sit for about 5 minutes before we finish his feet and whatever this little thing is called and his beak. And also give his wings some dimension here in just a minute. Okay, now we're going to try to finish our turkey, and you can use the yellow or the orange, whatever you'd like for his beak and his toes. I'm just going to grab the orange bag since it's handy. Give him a little nose. For his feet, I don't really know how many toes turkeys have, but you can draw little lines for your turkey's feet. I'm giving him 3 toes for each foot. Then I'm going to grab my red bag, and I'm going to fill in this little portion of my cookie. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to grab my brown bag and I'm going to give him a wing. And you can make this however you want. I'm just going to draw a line down to the tip of his wing, and then I'm going to draw some little loop-de-loos. Okay, and there's your turkey. Okay, I hope everyone enjoyed my little cookie tutorial. You can eat them right away, or you can wait for them to dry a little bit, and then you can stack them into a box and gift them to someone. Whatever you want to do with your cookies. I hope everyone has a very happy Thanksgiving.